top 5 underrated movies of 2022. I'm making this video because obviously I want you to check out these movies. That's why I'm making a video talking about movies I think were underappreciated. But I'm also doing it because, um, like, um, like there's just the other factor of these are just movies that I think are really good. They're really underrated. Obviously, I want to check them out, but we're getting to the end of 2022, and I'm going to start making lists of my favorite films of the year, and I kind of want to have a list that talks about some of the underrated ones that I didn't have time to put into like full video projects. So I've reviewed all these movies, so you can watch my review for every single one of these movies. And let's get started. Number 5 is The Northman, and this is at number 5 because this is a great movie that I think everybody who just likes really good like art house type filmmaking, they like Robert Edgers. If you like The Witch or The Lighthouse, this is a great film. You should check it out. I'm putting it at this spot though because even though it's great, it didn't do well at the box office. And it seems to be catching a little bit of an audience, but it's still pretty underrated. This is easily my favorite film of the year. I have not had the chance to rewatch it yet, but I definitely need to. The film is gorgeously shot and put together. The performance from Alexander Skarsgård is fantastic. Anya Taylor-Joy also does a great job. It's a great story of revenge and the brutality of the world of Vikings and what they deal with and things like that. So this is a fantastic movie. It's my favorite film of the year. Easily worth a check out. In fact, I think most of these movies are going to be on my best list. Maybe on the lower end of them, except for The Northman. Number 4 is Jackass Forever. And this might be a weird one because I think this movie did well and the audience that likes these sort of things liked it. But I'm putting it on the spot in the list because I feel like every Jackass movie is underrated. What I mean by that is it's thrown off as cheap, lame humor, lame slapstick, just laziness. But the amount of work and effort that these people put into this is incredible and should be appreciated. And I think that it's really weird just to write it off as juvenile shit. I mean, it kind of is. If you watch these things, they do a lot of gross things. There's a lot of penises. It's a thing, but it's still worth appreciating. And let's move on to number 3, and that is DC League of Super Pets. I don't blame anyone for not seeing this movie in the theaters. It bombed. Kind of like it did okay. It didn't really do great. And I don't blame you for not watching this film in theaters because this is not a good. This is not a good movie for marketing because the marketing for this movie was terrible. The trailers for this movie look really bad. I actually wrote this movie off, and but I still went to go see it because I'm a major DC fan, and I grew to really love this movie. It is not it's not great, but there's a lot of really smart humor, and even on second rewatch of this movie, I found bits and jokes that were making me laugh that I didn't catch the first time, or that I remembered from the first time but still made me laugh the second time. And the animation is gorgeous, and I want to see more in this DC animated world that they created with this movie. If we never get more, I'm honestly super disappointed because this was awesome. And yeah, it wasn't great, but it was good, and I enjoyed the movie. And I don't really get it why this one's kind of being left in the shadows. Number 2, Bros. This movie bombed, and this is also another reason I was making this list is I wanted to highlight this movie specifically because of not only it being a great movie, but there's a lot of anti-LGBTQ rhetoric going on right now that is leading to violence. If you didn't know, in Colombia, I believe, there was a gay club that got shot up. Multiple people died. It was very sad. It was a horrible thing that happened, but it's not unsurprising when the crime statistics of anti-LGBTQ violence are up by 50% in this country. And so having a movie like this that is able to relate to these people who are, quite literally still marginalized in our society, um, is nice. And it's a really good movie. It has a lot of things to say that the more you think about are really clever. Like when he talks about Bohemian Rhapsody and how that film was offensive to him because of the fact that it's about Freddie Mercury, one of the most famous gay men of all time, and it focuses on the one time he had sex with the straight woman, and that's a funny joke. The joke about Brokeback Mountain, how you know they never want to cast gay dudes to play the parts. There's a lot of funny jokes. It's an opposites attract movie. There's a lot of great humor in the movie. It's really really clever. It's really really smart. It's it's a it's just awesome to me. I can't wait to go buy this movie on Blu-ray. Uh, I believe it comes out tomorrow. So it's a really really funny movie, and I really love this movie. Number one is Lightyear. Oh my god, I cannot understand how this movie bombed. I mean, I can. If you don't know, this is how this movie bombed. A lot of people will say it's because of the gay kiss and the controversy. If you were saying that, you're a piece of shit. Let me explain why this movie bombed. So this movie came out in June, the week after Jurassic World came out. And what would happen is, they gave me my schedule that had the list of showtimes. Half of the showtimes were splitting between Jurassic World in 3D and Lightyear in 3D, I believe. And then it was like IMAX, Lightyear. Then it would switch to Jurassic Park. So it was half and half of these showtimes. These premium showtimes that matter a lot to making movies like this a success, especially during the summer. So it was a matter of bad releasing. If they had released this movie in July, the same week Paws of Fury came out, it would have done it exceedingly better. It was a matter of poor marketing and poor release dates. It is not a matter of the quality of the movie, and the gay kiss is just dumb to even be complaining about. It doesn't really matter. It's an awesome movie. I think that this movie definitely has more issues than I would like to admit, but this movie is one of the most gorgeous Pixar movies ever made. It's got an awesome sci-fi world to it. It has a very emotional, kind of dark and depressing story with our main character. It's kind of bleak for the most part, and it has a fun character as Socks, and the voice acting is awesome in this movie. I know people would have preferred Tim Allen, but I think these people need to just shut up because I get it, but it's a very different interpretation of the character, and it's not the version from the Toy Story movies. If they make another Toy Story movie, they will get Tim Allen back to play the voice. It's not really a big deal, but yeah, I love this movie. It is my favorite Pixar movie of the year. While Turning Red is good in its own right, I think this one is just awesome. It's one of my favorite Pixar movies personally. It's not one of their best, I think. If I was to do a ranking, it would probably be like, I don't know, like number 15 if I had just like make up a random number where I'd put it. It's just an awesome movie, and everybody should check it out. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, probably top 5. Jeez, my top 10 list is gonna be messy this year, but I just want to talk about these movies. My favorite movies, some of my favorite movies of the year, because I think all these are gonna be on my best list of the year, except for maybe Super Pets. I feel like that's one that could be even out and kind of kicked off the list, because it's just like, yeah, I enjoyed it, but I don't know if it's best of the year best. But I did really, really, really love this movie.